All right, why do we use defensive line stunts? All right, for us, as I discussed in our defensive line fundamental section, we have a lot of undersized guys on our defensive line. So at times we like to get our guys on the move to utilize their speed and quickness versus just having those guys trying to stand and fight with guys that are usually much bigger than them. All right. Also, we use it to cause confusion. All right. A lot of times when you come to the line, you hear offensive linemen making calls, hey, calling out this guy, calling out the mic, calling out different techniques, calling out different changes to how they're going to block things, especially when you're facing zone teams. So a lot of times when those guys get to moving after the snap, now you're forcing those offensive linemen to think on the fly, all right, which normally plays to your advantage because they're not being as aggressive. All right, we use gap exchange sometimes to combat quarterback run game. So sometimes we'll, if they're trying to read off of one of our guys, we'll call a stunt that allows that guy to slant after the ball is snapped. So now who the quarterback was originally reading, that guy has moved. Now he has to figure out who's the guy that's responsible for a quarterback, whether it be a force player or even inside when guys are running like midline or any type of arc release play. All right, we use it to open up lanes for blitzes, which I'm going to show you a lot of actually in this presentation. So sometimes we'll slant a guy, all right, one of our defense players or one of our inside guys to shorten the angle for that blitzer, or we're trying to get that offensive lineman shoulders turn, or even sometimes have him commit slightly to the defensive line and slanting, which gives that guy that's blitzing, all right, a smaller surface to have to go around to get to the quarterback, all right, or even catch that offensive lineman off balance and now give the advantage to that defensive guy to be able to run through him or work a move and go around him, all right? And also to maintain gap integrity while getting linebackers closer to their pass drop area. So sometimes if we're left with a 5-man box, all right, and we want to apex one of those backers, we'll slant a lineman inside. So now the gap that guy's responsible for is closer to him, and now he can kind of serve two masters in terms of his pass responsibility as well as his run responsibility. All right, now we have some stunts where we move multiple D linemen at one time. All right, we go Larry, where we're telling all our guys to stunt to the left. All right, Robert, where all our guys slant to the right. Texas is a tackling and stunt. The T in Texas lets us know the tackle is going first. Exit is an ET stunt where the end goes first. All right, and crash is all D linemen going inside one gap. All right, so that's an example of what Texas looked like. So when we draw it just like that. All right, and actually, I'm sorry, it should be yes, it's the tackle first. All right, that's why he has the one over his head, and then the end second. All right, so those guys know when they're on the field, they'll call you, me. All right, so that they know. All right, you're first, I'm second. All right, and then we're going to make it work from there. All right, exit, we go in first, tackle second. All right, and again, they'll make their you-me calls on the field so that those guys are on the same page. We don't get anybody running into each other or any type of confusion. Again, crash is everybody going one gap inside. The nose is not going to cross face because he knows the tackle is going into that opposite A gap. All right, again, Robert, we'll normally go to an even front, all right, and we're going to slant those guys to the right. And Larry is the same thing. We're slanting those guys to the left. All right, so here we are. So it's even, all right, and now sometimes we'll make the call in the huddle. A lot of times we'll let our linebacker call Larry or Robert on the field. All right, so right here we got a Larry call. All right, so it's for our tackle and our nose. And in certain fronts, it'll be everybody opposite of the call side will slant. All right, so again, all right, those guys, they do a good job flat stepping. All right. Now getting vertical. All right, they converge on the running back to make the play in the backfield. All right, and the great thing I love about when we go with our two techniques, the offense doesn't know if are we going to slant to our gaps? Are we going to play? Are we going to get vertical and two gap it? All right, are we going to run some type of cross stunt? All right, we have a lot of things we can do out of this front. It also helps this guy out all right, because now he's responsible for ultimately 2 gaps, all right, so he can tell them where to go to now get his Mike linebacker back into the run fit. All right, and this is Tex here. All right, so we got our TE game on this side. All right, tackle does a great job. All right, he's trying to work to the outside shoulder of that guy, but he turns his back to pick up the blitzer. So now he takes a great angle directly to the quarterback, gets a sack. All right, we got a Larry or a Robert here. All right, so that's a great job here by one of our interior linemen. Flat step, gets across that guy's face, gets vertical, makes the running back cut back, and now our Will is right there to make the play. All right, here we are. So again, when we call in the huddle, we'll say even Larry or Robert, all right, and then call the coverage behind it. All right, we don't determine to them. All right, sorry, let me get back to that last one. We don't determine to them what call to make. All right, we'll scheme it up throughout the week. Hey, sometime we'll call it based on the formation. Sometime we'll call it based on who's in the game, down the distance. All right, our linebackers do a good job of identifying the formation, identifying the situation, and making the appropriate call. All right, again, good job here by our 3 technique. All right, that was a good job by the 3 technique, taking that flat step, going around him, forcing the quarterback to throw it quicker than he was ready to. All right, so that's just a little bit about how we utilize our stunts within our defense.